So my first question is that we all know that we are in a time of disruption and a lot of uncertainty. What, in your view, are the leadership capacities that are needed?
I mean, beyond any explanation of leadership, which always counts for a leadership position, the specific, the new ones, I think. One is to have a holistic view, to have a holistic vision for what you want to achieve. And leadership, if it's totally detached from purpose, if it's detached from cultural development, from societal development, from ecological development, and only focuses on economic results, will lead to the world we are living in. It will lead to a world where very good economic leaders are doing everything possible to optimize shareholder value and profits, but forget about the other streams which are as important for sustainable development. So I think one of the very, very important leadership abilities and skills needed in the future is a more holistic view to what development means. And hence, it needs also a lot of courage, because leaders then have to balance between all these streams, have to balance between the different needs of cultural development, of economic development, of societal development, and so on. And I think with a holistic vision, with a lot of courage, but mainly a focus on human development and real love to people, to communities, to the individuals in the community and around the community, leaders could turn around this very, very challenging times.
So in other words, like real caretakers, of all the human needs and society and the planet needs.
I think this is a good description of everything I said. Real listening to what the world needs, real listening to what the future wants from us, and hence being a real caretaker and taking responsibility in a new way. I think this is what leaders will need in this century and the centuries to come.
Great. And moving now to the theme of the G20 this year, which is finance, which is always there, but the other theme is the bioeconomy. I mean, in your view, how this should be approached and how to attract leaders to be also embracing what it needs to enter really the bioeconomy field.
Based on what we just said, and having a holistic view to what the world needs in regard to development, always remains the question, how can you put this forward as a business model? How can you link this to market-driven mechanisms which respect the needs of these different dimensions of sustainable development? And I think there's a huge need of funding, there's a huge need of finance, but we will also have to be creative, innovative in the ways we are going to develop real business models for working on these different streams. And I think it's wonderful that there is this focus on the bioeconomy. I think it's wonderful that there is a focus on holistic development, that finally now ecosystem regeneration is getting its value. And I think we have to honor much more that these socio-ecological services we are providing have a value, a financial value. And we have to find a way to put this financial value in real terms and to honor those who are providing the services with incomes to enable them to continue their path. And so I think for me this would be a wonderful outcome of this G20 summit and all the attached events, if we come out with a model which makes it financially viable to develop a biohub, a bioregion, ultimately the bioeconomy, and which integrates into supply chains of companies, which pays the value of the ecosystem services of farmers, of all these people in the rural areas which are doing these services for free at the moment. And when we honor again the value of nature in a real way.
Yeah. So you mentioned something very important, that the ecosystem restoration and regeneration has to be at the center of this bioeconomy, because half of the land in this planet has been degraded already, and you have the few ecosystems that we have to be protected. So we have these situations of not just depleting more what you have in these 1 billion hectares of degraded land that have to be restored. And for this we have this model of considering like this bioregional level, which is also an ecosystem approach perspective, that normally is related to water, and you know how important water is to do any restoration. So, but at the same time, you need the agencies. You need the agency, and to activate the agency, and we need, in other words, you need this community-based leadership to make it happen. So, how you in Egypt that have been doing this for 47 years, how do you recognize these partners at the ground, and how you encourage them to move forward?
We have, from the very beginning, 47 years ago, we have always, let's say, attached an additional value to what is considered an agricultural product, for example, in regard to its value for biodiversity preservation, or for water preservation, or for carbon sequestration, and let's call it have attached a premium to the prices, where we honored these additional services, and then we made sure that this premium goes back to the community, goes back to the farmers, goes back to the activists who are providing the service. So there must be a flow of money going into the ecosystem regeneration, where agriculture is an important part, but not covering all of it, of course. And so, as I said, we have generated this money out of an economic added value stream, but we have then also, and this is something where we are very happy to see more awareness now rising. We have also received a lot of support for research, for capacity building, for rural development, because the value of ecosystems is just beyond our imagination, and without them we are not there. So many international agencies, many national agencies are supporting us, and we are feeling that more and more citizens, farmers, women, men, young and old, are getting an idea of the value of the services, and are ready to contribute, and are ready to serve if there is a way to have a livelihood in this.
Wonderful. So my last question goes to something that has become more and more mainstream. These thinkers like Otto Scharmer and others writing books about that, which is the shift in awareness from the egocentric to the more ecocentric leadership. It means a leadership that has a planet, has a society, whatever at the center, not the leader itself. And normally it also expresses itself in a more collective leadership support of this process. So what are your reflections about that? Because it's a shift, even that people are not ready for that, because they look for the leader to give direction, and normally this person is also gives too much its own imprint, and so then sometimes they think they are the center of the world, and not that they are serving something that is much larger than them.
I mean, this is a very good closing loop to the first thing I said. It's this holistic vision, which is the ecocentric worldview versus the egocentric, which is very much focused on economic benefits, my own benefit, my own income, my own takeaway, what can I extract from the world, is an egocentric worldview, which was fueled by the worldview that egoism is the best driver for the wealth of nations, for economies, and many people, and still many people in the world, believe that this is the only driver for a functioning economy called capitalism. And this economy did, over the last 200 years, huge steps, huge development steps, but without the view to the other dimensions. It has also provided us with many challenges. And I think now returning back to a more holistic view, including in my vision not only financial results but also social results, cultural results, ecological balance, is the only way to build a better future for the next generations to come. And this is for me this shift from ego capitalistic worldview to an eco worldview, which is holistic and includes all the dimensions.
And one last question that was not planned, but I will make, because we are here in Heliopolis University, and you know the importance that education plays in that new, in the kind of promoting, expanding, instilling this new paradigm and worldview. So how do you do that in times in which there are so much distraction in terms of possibilities that may not be true, but they are very flashy, no? In all the information, like era in which we live. How do you do that from an educational institution? How do you foster ecocentric leadership?
I mean, you cannot basically force it. This is the first thing we are convinced with. You can only offer it. And it has to resonate with students, with academic staff, with teachers, with professors. But what we are here really focusing on is trying to inspire our students and academic staff, and all of them are on an educational journey, but to offer them more possibilities, more views, to let them really feel communities with a community-based learning module, to really have a feeling for nature through an agricultural module, which is there for all the students in all faculties, to give them a possibility to connect to their inner call and inner artist through exposing them to artistic modules. And last but not least, it is a little bit of theory of sustainable development, but it's much more action research. It's much more giving them the chance to come into contact with nature, with people, with the challenges, feeling the outer core of the world. And we believe that in every student, innate, there is light, there is, let's say, divine light. And if we are able to uncover it, and if we are able to help him to find this light, it will unfold. And on his journey to unfold his potential, he will then be an activist for all the ideas we have. This is what we hope for, this is what we work for every day, and what we can see is that there are more and more of these young students and academic staff embarking on such a journey.